Hello, I'd like to introduce you to Rose Garden. Rose Garden is a semi-soft cover journal with 2 signatures. She has a removable spine tassel. It's got colors from the cross stitch here. This cross stitch is so old that this paper that it was backed onto, cardstock, is naturally aged. And then what I did is I cut it into a circle and added some vintage trim here, and this gold isn't vintage, but I thought it went really nice with it. And vintage doily here. Let's measure her. Rose Garden is 6.5 wide by 9.25 tall, almost 9.25, and she's tied quite tightly because this gapes open because, as usual, she's stuffed. This is the last of this series that I'm making with a brushed denim cotton. It's so soft. And on the bottom, each signature has little fake pearl and some little charms on the bottom from 2 different pieces of jewelry. That's a button here. I just recently got this here and I was drawn to it, and when I got home I went, oh, well, that's because it goes perfect with this. So I'm really happy with that. Okay. She's lined with some linen, vintage linen that's got lovely crochet on the edges and some pretty embroidery. And I folded it up at the front end at the back to create a pocket and put a mother of pearl button there. And inside this pocket is a little booklet that I put together with tea-dyed papers and tea-dyed fabric. There's a pocket in here for putting something. There's the back. Had fun making that. It's handy because if you going somewhere and you don't want to bring the whole journal, then you just bring a little booklet. Here's a faux wax seal on some tea-dyed paper that opens up into some journaling space. It has this paper envelope hasn't been glued together, so you can just open it right up, or you can put something inside of it. Here's a lovely guardian angel. Cece has roses, so I'd say she's a guardian angel for this Rose Garden journal. A journaling card with some roses on, butterflies, some fabric sample on top. Again, I've made this using just different things I've repurposed, and pretty much everything's tea-dyed as well. These are scraps of paper to make little journal spots so you can tear it away to add some things to the rest of the journal. I did this using a plastic doily and coffee. Made a little flip out of a stationery card. And there's a pocket here with an altar paper clip holding another little journal booklet inside. Plus you can journal on the back of this inside because it all opens up. There's the envelope flap of it. Looks like it might be a vintage postcard. And this was from a gift book. Little vintage button there. And some book pages from a vintage garden book. talking about roses. It's a little postcard from Harlequin. Journaling spots in there. Rose stamp. Another, I believe, might be a vintage postcard. Some gardens. Some tags that are blank on the back. 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. And writing in here as well. This paper here is from a novel from 1926. And it's fragile paper. So what I did is I backed it onto some tea dye paper and created a journal card out of it. Tea dyed ledger, stationery, tea dyed for journaling on, some snippet roll pieces, and this is a tea dyed picture from a magazine. Some vintage ribbon here. And here is a journal card made from a picture from a rose from a vintage World Book Encyclopedia. I had fun decorating that up. Rose stamp. Love the sound of that paper. Snippet roll belly band. And this you can write on both sides. Another rose picture from the World Book Encyclopedia for journaling card. And here, rose picture from a rose book and journaling space on the other side, and a little tuck spot here for some guest book paper that's naturally aged. Didn't need to tea dye that. Lovely cottage here. And that's also from the vintage garden book. Lovely old button. And a little vintage button here too. Little flip here with some roses. A vintage button on it. Little tuck spot there. A rose quote. Some wrapping paper with roses on. This is from a book about roses. A flip so that you can write behind it and also read and see the other side too. And this is paper that I dyed using food coloring and a paper, was it paper doily or plastic doily? I think it was plastic doily. There's a little sketch from a garden book. Some rose napkin decoupaged onto old book page. Tea dyed paper there. A little bit of snippet roll here that goes with the colors over here. Little bird stamp. Tea dyed stationery. Roses. Reminds me of one of the ones I have in my garden. And some more information about roses from the World Book Encyclopedia. Here we've got 2 pockets, postcard, and vintage buttons. And in here there's a secret little tuck away behind the ribbon. There's room for just put something else in there too if you like. And vintage flower here. Thought it would make a nice pocket. And from an old book, roses, they look like they're garden angels as well. Guardian Angels of the Roses. Just trying to remember the name of that book. Kate Greenaway. Yeah, Kate Greenaway. How to Prune Roses. That's also from the Antique Garden book. Oh, I love this picture. It goes with the snippet there. Little basket of roses. Rose postcard here. The vintage button on top. And here's a little mini altered paper clip that also has journaling space on it. And you can tuck something under there. And here's a greeting card made into a flip for journaling. And it's got a piece of ribbon holding the two together, tea-dyed ribbon. And there's a little tuck spot here. Little girl holding some roses. I didn't realize how much rose stuff I really had until you go to make a rose journal, and there's quite a bit. Roses are definitely a favorite of many people. And that's a card made into a flip. There's a belly band here. An envelope made into a little journal booklet with some spots here to tuck something in there. And here, oh, I love how the snippet roll goes with the colors on this page. And when I made the snippet roll, I just was grabbing things out of my little snippet roll box and putting them onto a piece of masking tape and then sewing it and putting buttons on after, and then gluing it to this piece of paper to make a tuck spot. And what I did when I was making the book was then I would, of course, choose spots, pieces of the snippet roll, and put it in spots that the colors went with the picture. That's really fun. Because when I was first sewing, I'm thinking, oh, I don't know about these colors. And then I remember, no, it always works out. Just keep going. You just never know how it's going to end. This is really old paper here. And I just did some stamping on it. Got some new stamps at a thrift store. There's a little booklet here. Has a vintage button on it. Some vintage doily piece. This is a silk sample. I found some more of them in my stash, so I was happy about that. And just made a little booklet for journaling in. And a pocket and a mother of pearl button there. And napkin decoupaged onto some book page with some tea-dyed cardstock on the back and some fabric and a vintage button and a little beads there to go with the leaves. And a little envelope I made that has the usual things I like to put in. See, there's playing cards and a Bible history card and trivia, little Bible verses. And in the back, made this out of vintage book page, and I decoupaged plain napkin on top of it just to give it texture and strength. Added this to make a pocket on the front and the back for a journal card. And then on the inside, just a couple of pages for journaling on. A little bit of stamping. Some tea-dye paper on that too. That was fun to make. And the tabs, yeah, each of them have vintage buttons on them. Love, love, love the greens in this and the roses. And this just ties up like, where's the end? There she is. Like so. The weather is not as hot now. So relieving. It was lovely this weekend because I was able to go in our swimming pool a lot with my grandson. I think I'm still recovering from that. I feel like tired, but it's a pleasant tired. We had fun. Hope everything's going well with you. Take care of yourself. Don't forget to treat yourself to beauty, whether it's going for a walk in nature or doing crafting or reading a lovely book. Yeah, be kind to yourself too. Take care and thanks for watching. Bye.